Welcome back to the Old Ways Tarot. I apologize for my absence the last month, but I am excited to be back with you, reading for the Aquarius full moon at the end of August. Today we're going to be using the Stars Divine Oracle, the Healing Oracle, the Shamanic Healing Oracle, the Soul Cards, 2nd edition, the Heimdall Tarot, and then the Hermetic Tarot for clarifiers. I'm probably going to start with the mutable signs, cardinal signs second, and then move into the fixed signs last, simply because the full moon is occurring in Aquarius, which is a fixed sign, and I kind of want to access that energy a little closer to the full moon for them. But the energy will still be strong. I'm doing the first readings about a day and a half before the full moon. So I look forward to see what comes out for the signs today. And I will go ahead and get started cleansing the energy in the cards and pre-shuffling. And I will see you shortly. Welcome back, Capricorn. Excited to get into your reading for the full moon in Aquarius. For today's reading, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to lay out the spread before we read the cards, just to save you a little bit of time, as well as me. And with that, let's get started. What truth, guidance, and clarity can you bring forth for Capricorn for the full moon in Aquarius, please? What truth, guidance, and clarity can you bring forth for Capricorn? So, bottom of the deck we have Virgo. We have the new moon. We have Sagittarius. We have Cardinal. And we have Leo. So if those signs are important to you, they could also be signs to look out for, maybe placements in your chart that you need to be aware of. Whatever is being kind of worked through at this full moon could be coming to fruition at the new moon coming up in September. Cardinal energy though, that's good. That's something you are probably definitely comfortable with embodying. So let's see what else comes out. What truth, guidance, and clarity for Capricorn for the full moon in Aquarius, please? What does Capricorn need to know? My goodness. I have quite a few cards coming through for you. We have bottom of the deck, Struggle, number 32. I don't know if you can see the imagery. It's kind of like a fish swimming upstream. These cards are kind of dark, so I apologize if you aren't able to make it out. So these were face down. I'll go ahead and let you peek at them, and then I'll put them back in the deck because these three came out face up. So it was number 14, Teaching, and number 39, Creativity. And there's 3 cups in that Creativity card, so brings to mind the 3 of Cups in the tarot. So getting together with others, possibly, learning, teaching. Number 28, Anger. Number 15, Honoring Your Energy. And number 17, Feminine Energy. guidance for Capricorn for the full moon in Aquarius, please? What guidance for Capricorn for the full moon in Aquarius? So these are the soul cards, and they are they don't really have the verbal cueing of the other oracle cards, so I'll kind of just let you sit with that imagery. I hope you can see that all right. Let me see if the lighting on it is okay. Can you see that? What guidance, clarity for Capricorn for the full moon in Aquarius, please? What guidance and clarity for Capricorn for the full moon in Aquarius, please? Bottom of the deck we have the Universe, which is the World card. We have the Six of Swords, the Emperor, the Five of Wands, the Chariot, the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Three of Cups. Pisces had kind of a similar phenomena go on in their reading, where the tarot kind of came out exactly with the oracle cards. So that'll be interesting moving forward in the reading. Bear with me a moment while I kind of just take in the energy here. For the pre-shuffle on the shamanic oracle, you had the energy come through of kind of moving on, like moving forward. And it's kind of reiterated here with the Six of Swords under the new moon. I'll go ahead and get out of the way that if you were dealing with a Sagittarius, I think that that's a really positive, beneficial energy for you. And if you're dealing with a Leo, there may be forward movement there. And again, if either of those are in your own personal chart, it's something to keep in mind as well. So with the new moon card coming out here above the Six of Swords, at the last new moon, the August new moon, you could have started moving forward from something that maybe was a little bit problematic and stressful for you. And that may be coming to a culmination during Virgo season coming up. And this new moon could, this full moon could be kind of a catalyst in that for you. And if not, then I believe the full moon is the catalyst and you may be moving forward at the new moon coming up in September. So just take it as it applies to your situation. I feel like there's an energy of a new way of thinking kind of being ushered into your life. The figure in this card that's at the bottom of the deck of the soul cards is kind of coming through to me as Virgo, especially with this. Maybe it's just because this Virgo card is coming out, and Saturn is underneath that, by the way. This could be something to do with a lesson you've recently or are currently learning. But I'm kind of getting the feeling that Virgo season is going to be ushering in new thought patterning for you, or new ideas. A lot of mental stimulation. For a few of you, you may be getting a new pet, a new animal, and that could be alleviating some of the stress that you've been experiencing. If not that, because again, that's probably only for a few of you, I feel as though nature holds a lot of inspiration for you at this time. And with struggle at the bottom of the deck, if you've been experiencing a level of challenging energy, or just a challenging situation in your life, it's coming to an end with the world here. The lesson has been learned. You're moving forward. And I think you may even reach a level of mastery in that this coming winter. Just before your birthday season. And I think you need to embody your cardinal energy. That steady cardinal energy in order to work through whatever this is for you. Let me just see here, just to kind of so the little excerpt from the book here says cardinal signs initiate each season. The first day of Aries is the spring equinox, Cancer the summer solstice, Libra the fall equinox, and Capricorn the winter solstice. This gives these signs leadership qualities. Innovative, pioneering, trailblazing, entrepreneurial, trend-setting, inventive, and active are kind of the keywords associated with that. So I feel as though you need to passionately initiate this shift. I think that it's asking for like a hands-on approach from you in whatever this is that you're working through, whether it be a work situation, maybe relationships in your life, possibly an area of study. I'm kind of picking up that it may have to do with relationships in your life. Friendships, family relations, work relationships, romantic situations, whatever it may be, maybe a combination of a few of those. But I think there may have been some movement during Leo, like energy kind of started to move forward during Leo season, possibly like when Jupiter was in Pisces still, and since it's retrograded back into Aquarius, maybe there's been like a little bit of a standstill in that. Like there may still just be some things in need of review before that energy can start moving forward again, and perhaps you're just being asked to look at what it is that needs to be left behind in order to fully embrace what you're moving into, with kind of like a clean slate, a fresh perspective. I think that's really what you're concentrated on, is that fresh, exciting new chapter that you're moving towards. And I feel like with the Knight of Cups coming in below the anger card, you may have somebody coming in with kind of like a loving gesture towards you, but for whatever reason it's upsetting you. Like possibly this is somebody you've had past experiences with that weren't you know, if these are friends coming back in, like maybe you had disagreements or misunderstandings with, it just didn't jive well with you, like maybe it didn't. You have honoring your energy next to that with the Seven of Swords underneath it. So I kind of get the idea that you probably have every right to be a little bit upset about whoever this person or these people are coming in, because I think that when in the past your energy wasn't respected, and so maybe you feel as though it would be more respectful of them to kind of just allow you to continue on your healing journey instead of trying to re-involve you in whatever situation this is that the two of you shared. Or you all shared. But with the Three of Cups underneath the feminine energy, I think universe is kind of coming through and saying, despite the fact that you're kind of having apprehension of reconnecting with this energy, I think maybe your higher self, like somewhere deep down, you may want in a way, more so than maybe you'd like to admit, to if not completely reincorporate this back into your life, like at least walk away in a good, at least in good standing with whoever these people or this person is. And I think that there's like a level of forgiveness being asked of you, like be the bigger person kind of energy. Because I think you'll thank yourself for it in the long run, rather than burning the bridge or maybe taking like the vengeful approach. And you may need to be the initiator of this. Like whoever these people or this person is, they may not be mature enough where, or I shouldn't say that, that's kind of judgmental, but just like they may not be in a place in their life where they're able to access that kind of energy. But I think that it would speak really highly to you and your values as a person for you to kind of step up in this cardinal energy and fight the good fight, kind of, is what I'm picking up here. And I think by the new moon, you may be able to walk away with this resolved and be able to dedicate your headspace, your energy fully into what you're moving towards without having to carry all of this leftover past problematic energy with you. So like your concentration, I think, will be better for it as well. And probably with that, the outcome of whatever the situation is that you're trying to move forward into. I do think if hesitant because you don't want to invite this back in. I think that if you're clear and kind about resolution in whatever the situation is for you, I think that it is going to be the closing out of this cycle. So I think that the universe is trying to tell you not to worry too much about that. I think maybe you could just be in your head about it, and your emotions, because this card is underneath. I hope you can see that okay. I think you're kind of just analyzing your emotions about it and kind of how it made you feel, and it's kind of sending your headspace into a little bit of like a shutdown. About it, and maybe just like kind of overthinking it, overanalyzing what could happen. I think that I think the universe is kind of trying to point you in the direction of dealing with it. Not necessarily putting those emotions aside if this is something that like hurt you or negatively affected you in whatever ways. I don't think that the energy is asking you to put that aside for whoever these people or this person was. I think they're trying to tell you to face it though. Like face it head on and say whatever needs to be said in a non-confrontational way, and you'll be better off for it. So let's see what the Six of Swords is with the new moon here. What is the Six of Swords with the new moon for Capricorn, please? What is the Six of Swords energy with the new moon for Capricorn, please? What is the Six of Swords energy with the new moon for Capricorn, please? Oh, there's one more in there. Good thing I checked. Bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Queen of Pentacles, that's you, the Three of Wands, the Five of Wands again, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Cups. Yeah, I think if you face this head on, even though they're not in a place where maybe they feel like they can't initiate whatever this is, they could be coming in with an apology. Because that Knight of Cups again here with the Four of Cups, I think maybe if there was like a situation where you felt rejected in the past by whatever group this is, or whatever friendship or love connection, I think if you face it head on, even though you don't want to, even though maybe you have like a lot of aversion to putting yourself in any sort of vulnerable state with this person, I think that if you face it confidently, they're saying here with the Three of Wands, you'll see a new way forward, because in the Five of Wands, you'll see a new way forward if you face it head on and initiate this conversation, because perhaps this person feels like they can't, because there's probably a level of guilt and regret there. And with that kind of energy definitely comes the feeling of like they could be punishing themselves already more than you know, which I think is why they're asking you to like approach the situation as quote unquote the bigger person, like with kinder, strong, not necessarily like overly kind or anything, you don't have to be fake, but just like a strong energy that doesn't necessarily like lash out, you know, like kind of just a kinder approach. I think you're going to get an apology for whatever this is that happened. And I think that you're going to come to realize that, I don't know, I just think you may see whatever the situation is in a different light that'll make it easier for you in your emotions and your thoughts moving forward about whatever this is that happened. Like, you may finally get answers that possibly you didn't have, which made it all the more problematic for you in the past. And so, like, moving forward into new relationships or new situations, you're not going to be carrying that confusion and lack of closure with you. I think this, if you face the situation confidently and kindly, you're going to get the closure that you need to be able to move forward confidently and past this, like really be able to leave it behind. But only if you face up to it. So that's beautiful. I think this full moon's going to bring a lot of healing for you, Capricorn, which is something, and with that, like, new opportunity too. Underneath the Wheel of Fortune was the Ace of Pentacles and the Death card. So I think it's going to leave you transformed. It could, whatever this situation was, could have had you feeling a little bit down on yourself, and that could be why you don't want to deal with it. But I think that if you do deal with it, if you do put yourself in the position to hear out what these other people or this other person has to say, you're going to move forward feeling a lot better for it. You could have been, for whatever reason, thinking that whatever happened spoke something negatively to your character, and I think that if you speak with whoever these people or this person is, you're going to find that it probably didn't have anything to do with you and your character, other than the fact that it ended up affecting you negatively. I think possibly it had a lot more to do with whoever these other people or this other person was and what they had going on, and it just hurt you by proxy. So I really like seeing this, because for your readings the last 2 months, and even further than that, it's going to be different for everybody when the time frame was that this went on originally, like initially the situation that negatively affected you. But it's been a while that I've been seeing this kind of energy kind of hovering over you like a dark cloud, and it's really beautiful that it's kind of feeling to me like this may be the time for the sun to come back out for you. I love seeing that. I wish you a beautiful full moon. I hope that it brings all of the healing that looks so promising here in the reading. Have confidence in yourself. I believe in you, and I hope to see you back for our next reading and see some positive, forward-moving energy for you, Capricorn. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Hey Libra, welcome to your full moon Aquarius reading. So today I'm going to do the reading a little bit differently. I'm going to kind of pull the cards first and then read the spread for you. Saves a little bit of time for you and for me. And with that, we will get started. Messages, guidance, clarity, can you bring for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius, please? What messages, guidance, and clarity can you bring for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius? So bottom of the deck we have the sign of Cancer, ruled by the moon. And then we have the Midheaven card, the Sagittarius card, which actually just came up for Capricorn as well, Mutable energy, and Vesta. And I'll give you a little bit more insight into these energies. I'll read the little excerpt from the book. Might want to see where your midheaven is in the chart. If the signs Sagittarius and Cancer mean anything to you, if you're dealing with one, then you know, they could be important players in your life at this time. Also, definitely check out where they lie in your personal chart. What guidance, messages, and clarity for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius, please? Messages, guidance, and clarity for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius. Bottom of the deck, we have number 13, Abundance. Hope you can see that. It's raining out here, so it got a little bit darker. And then we have number 44, Home, and number 35, The Inner Journey. Any guidance, clarity, messages for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius, please? Clarity, guidance, messages for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius. So the soul cards kind of let you sit with the imagery. Hopefully you can see. Whew, I have had way too much caffeine, Libra. I'm like shaking. Guidance, clarity, messages for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Guidance, clarity, messages for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Swords. We have the Chariot, the Judgment card, which is called Aeon in this deck, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, the Six of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So let me read you real quick. We'll read about the midheaven, mutable energy, and Vesta. So let's see, just to give you a little bit of insight in case you're not well versed in chart placements. So it says the midheaven is on the cusp of the 10th house. It is the public self and how one functions in society. It is involved with career and reputation, and it is how one deals with the idea of success and status. And then mutable energy. It says mutable signs in the season. Gemini is late spring, Virgo late summer, Sagittarius late fall, and Pisces late winter. During these periods, the upcoming season can be sensed. This gives these signs a flexible and adaptable quality. And then Vesta. Vesta is associated with the signs of Virgo and Scorpio, and we are moving into Virgo season and Scorpio season not too much longer after that, after your season. So Vesta is the guardian of the hearth and sacred fire. It is the virgin as a symbol of self-renewal and purification. It carries a sense of wholeness and home. Inner transformation, sexuality, spirituality, and devotion are its values. So off the bat, in reading those, before I've really sat with this energy here, I think you're being asked with the energy of this full moon to be a little bit, like, change your perspective, maybe to one of a little bit more flexibility, with the Hangman underneath mutable energy. And with Vesta, I think you're moving into a time of renewal, possibly in the realm of finance or work. New ideas, maybe the home, like your values, your possessions, your valuables and possessions. You could be reconnecting with a Sagittarius, or reconnecting with somebody that embodies Sagittarius energy. Maybe somebody well-traveled. Somebody with a lot of worldly knowledge. Somebody with a lot of schooling, perhaps. I mean, I think you're kind of moving forward on your path as far as how you show up in the outside world, with the Chariot underneath the midheaven here. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so it's interesting that it came up right next to the mutable energy here. If you're not dealing with one specifically, it could kind of be that mutable energy that you're being asked to embody, that kind of flexibility, in order to fully reach your highest potential in whatever this opportunity is that's coming towards you. Especially with this abundance card, and underneath that is slow and steady, which is always reminds me of the Virgo energy, which is another mutable sign. So, and Vesta was Virgo Scorpio energy. So yeah, I think just kind of needing an open mind to really access the full potential of utilizing this opportunity coming in for you. With this soul card energy, I think you're needing to really speak up and not be shy too, which is very Sagittarian. If you're passionate about this, if you need to speak out about it, and not be afraid to kind of also hear others' interpretations of whatever this is that you're going into. Like if you're having to collaborate or work with others in order to like if this is a job situation and you're needing to collaborate and work with others, I think you need to be open to hearing them out as you're working together, and kind of be open to their ideas and not necessarily like too stuck on how you think it should be done. But also don't be afraid to, throw your opinions and ideas out there. If this is a relationship situation and you're needing to speak up to a partner, like if possibly you're moving in together, or just moving to a different level, like say you're dating long distance and they're coming to visit you, or you haven't seen them for a while and you're kind of reintroducing yourselves into each other's lives after an extended period of time, and you decide you kind of want to continue that with them. I think that it would be an extremely beneficial relationship or connection for you. And with the inner journey and Six of Swords in the background of whatever this is that's kind of coming in for you, you could be working through, especially with the Three of Swords here, like in the background of this, you could be working through and trying to move forward from a time where you felt disappointment and maybe struggled a little bit mentally moving on from that disappointment, like kind of the memories of it affecting how you showed up in the present. And that could be part of, you know, needing to release that need for control with this mutable energy. Because maybe you just don't want to replay a past cycle. So there could be like a level of fear. But underneath the Three of Swords is the Ten of Pentacles. So I really feel that this cycle that you're moving into is something that you, because underneath the Ten of Pentacles is the Magician, it's something that you've manifested into being. And I think it's going to be an extremely positive cycle for you. Just to kind of remember to like separate it, have a healthy perspective on the present versus the past. And try not to project your past experiences onto the present. Because this figure in the soul cards, it looks as though she's carrying a bowl of water. So I kind of feel like you're having to put yourself out there emotionally in whatever the situation is. And her expression, like the facial expression in this card looks hopeful to me. But also just slightly guarded. Not a ton, like not unwilling to try and make the effort to put this out there, go the distance for this water, which I'm using as a analogy for emotional expression, emotional vulnerability. But at the same time, it almost looks like it's close to spilling over. And that could be kind of part of the struggle too, as far as separating that past and present energy within, is not allowing that past cycle to pour into this new cycle, because we have the King of Cups and the Ace of Cups. And don't get too hung up on gender with that King of Cups, because it, just to take it how it applies to your life, whatever this King of Cups energy is for you coming in. But I really feel as though this is who is presenting this new opportunity, this new emotional connection or opportunity to you. And it's, the King of Cups is a great energy. It's emotionally stable, caring. That's Scorpio energy in the zodiac, which again, Vesta was Virgo and Scorpio energy. So it's somebody who's not going to take advantage of genuine emotion, of genuine connection. So I think that you are moving into a cycle of safety and security if you are able to embrace this without bringing that past baggage with you. So that's fantastic. This is a really beautiful reading, Libra. Kind of turned into a bit of a love reading, which it makes sense because Venus is in Libra during this full moon cycle. So, and I think it just went in there not that long ago. And love doesn't have to mean romance. It could be, you know, friendship energy, family energy. I'm trying to think what I want to clarify here. It's pretty straightforward and it's really nice. What would you want me to clarify, Libra? Let me think. If I were you. let's first clarify what this Ace of Pentacles is coming in for you. 2 aces in your reading. A lot of fresh new energy coming in. What is this Ace of Pentacles for Libra? For the full moon in Aquarius? What is this Ace of Pentacles coming in for Libra for the full moon in Aquarius? Four of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck for that. And we have the Three of Cups again, the Seven of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. So that's interesting. It's somebody coming in quickly and very straightforward, or it's you doing this with somebody else. Let me read about Vesta one more time. Hold on, let me see. There we go. I kind of get the feeling that this Knight of Swords is you. Bear with me just a moment while I take it in. Yeah, and all of this fresh, new energy that you've kind of initiated and been moving into up until this point, you may have met someone or even just had like a rejuvenation of energy in your current relationships. And because of the confidence, or not so much confidence, I think there is a level of confidence, especially with the Knight of Swords, but just with the momentum of all of these positive shifts, I think you may have shifted just by association with all of this going on in your life. And it could be changing the way that you're showing up, but at the same time, because of that guardedness from, I think, still working through that past energy within, you may be going, even though you're like confidently showing up and wanting to connect with whoever this is, if it's somebody new that you met along the way and or if it's somebody that you've been in partnership with and you're kind of looking to take it to that next level and initiate this new, like inject this new energy into the relationship with them, the connection with them, excuse me. I think because of holding on to some of that past stuff and still being like still working through it, something about the way that you're showing up may seem inauthentic to them. So be sure to be honest and open if you are working through something with them. I mean, you don't have to completely spill the beans about your entire personal journey. But I think that it is important to be upfront about the fact you are working through something, if that is the case for you, because if you aren't, it may be showing up anyway, but not in a planned, conscious way, and that may come across to somebody outside of yourself as inauthentic or dishonest. So be careful with that, I would say. And then let's see what this Ace of Cups is. Let's just check on the aces here. Get a little bit further insight if we can. What guidance and clarity for the Ace of Cups? Full moon in Aquarius for Libra. What is this Ace of Cups gosh, another ace. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. My sleeves keep getting the cards and it's driving me crazy. Okay. Then we have the Temperance card, the Ace of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Oh. Okay, so it's a very pure connection. Whoever this is for you. It could be somebody from your past, somebody you've known a long time, somebody who you have history with. Definitely. If not, then like if this is a newer situation, it's very pure. So yeah, I think you're needing to remain in balance. It's that Sagittarius energy again with Temperance. If this is activating any sort of past stuff for you, like even if it's not something you were working for before, and just because like you're coming into a time of strong emotion for whoever this is, it could be activating some of that stuff, and that could be kind of newer for you, especially if you've been in a more balanced, fresh energy. It could kind of like throw you off that you're feeling any type of way about past stuff, especially if it hasn't been prevalent for you up until this point. So I think it's really telling you to kind of try to remain balanced through this and be honest, be open and honest and truthful with whoever this is. And if it's not you, you can reverse it. If this may be something that the other person is going through. So they're looking for balance with you, though. If it's them, then they're looking to balance out some past. They're looking to be open with you about their feelings. And I think they're very attracted to you, or you're very attractive at this time, especially with Venus and Libra. I mean, you're always attractive, Libra. Just especially with Venus and Libra, though, you really have a strong energy around you now, a strong positive energy. So this is lovely, Libra. I wish you all the best for this full moon and a beautiful connection. I'm sending lots of positive energy your way for you and whoever this is. I really appreciate you stopping by, and I hope, if you want to share about what's going on for you, it looks really exciting. I would love to hear it in the comments, and I hope to see you back for our next reading to see how this is progressing. Okay, thank you, Libra. Hey, Aries. Welcome to your full moon Aquarius reading. Excited to have you and get started here. So today I'm doing the reading a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and lay out the spread and then read the cards just to save you and me a little bit of time. So with that, we will get started. Guidance, clarity, and messages for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius, please. What guidance, messages, and clarity for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius, please? So bottom of the deck we have the 9th house. We have fixed energy, Scorpio, and the 4th house. So the house of home and family and the house of travel and learning and expansion of the mind. Then fixed energy with Scorpio. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's see what else comes out. Doing the spread this way is kind of different for me, so I keep trying to read them beforehand, even though I tell you guys that I'm not going to. Or you all, excuse me. Let's see. What guidance, clarity, and truth for Aries for the full moon Aquarius, please? Guidance, clarity, and truth for Aries. Bottom of the deck we have number 41, self-love. These are kind of dark, so I hope they're showing up for you. And then we have number 35, inner journey. That one's really dark, but the imagery is neat. I love these cards. What guidance, messages, and truth for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius? Guidance, truth, messages for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius. Guidance, messages, and truth for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Guidance, messages, and truth for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Ooh, I had a couple wanting to come out. Being a little bit secretive for you, Aries. What guidance, clarity, and truth can you bring forth for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius? Oh, okay. So I'll let you kind of sit with the soul cards for a minute. Just kind of sit with the energy. The colors in the two cards that came out really go well together. Messages, guidance, and clarity for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Messages, guidance, and clarity for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius. Bottom of the deck of the tarot is the Fool card. Love it. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Tower card, the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. So let me sit with this here for a minute. So off the bat, I'm getting the message that you've been going full tilt at work. Really putting in the effort and the energy, almost to the extreme, in your work life, in your material gain. But I think you also have a passionate disposition for the relationships in your life, whether it be like one specific person that's very important to you, or you know, somebody you share a home with, your family, friendships, whatever relationship it might be for you. And I think to compensate for the effort you've been putting on at work, or in your, yeah, I'm just getting the message of work, into your abundance. You may be coming home just with the 9 of Cups underneath the 4th house. I think you're really happy with the results of what's been happening, but I think your energy has been depleted, and kind of to make up for the lack of time you have for self, or to spend time outside of whatever work situation this is for you, you may have been maybe taking unwinding to the extreme, whether it be like having a few more glasses of wine than you normally would, whatever your vice is. I think you've maybe been taking it a little bit further than you normally would, just to make up. Like, I don't think a lot of energy is being put forth toward replenishing the energy you're putting out in your work life. And so you're kind of trying to relax to the max when you come home. And I think maybe at some level your relations have been suffering for that. And that's including your relationship to yourself. And with the 9th house and self-love coming up, I think that there is a call for, at this time, like with this full moon, for you to embrace and, I'm getting a vacation, staycation, whatever. To embrace broadening your idea of what replenishing your energy should look like. And I'm really getting the feeling that you're having a vacation with your loved ones, or your family, or some friends. The people that you're passionate about. Could be specifically with a Scorpio person, if you have a Scorpio person in your life, or if you have Scorpio energy. Could be Scorpio season that you're planning this for as well. But with inner journey in the Tower, I really think that this is a big internal shift for you. I think that you see, like, I think that you're craving it. I don't think that somebody else is having to tell you that this is needed. This is really interesting, but I think the, because I think that the last reading that I did for Aries on the channel, like the only one that I've released to YouTube, I've done a lot more readings than the ones I've released to YouTube. I just can't seem to get my timing right. But I think the last one that I released to YouTube, you were meeting somebody on like a work vacation. So that's kind of, or not a work vacation, but like a work trip, or some sort of little getaway. So that's funny. It could be for 2 different groups of Aries, for sure, because this is a general reading, but I find that really interesting. But yeah, I think you're needing to fight for a balance in your life. Like for you to access your higher energy, you're really needing a fresh start. Look at this. Okay, and I think that when you do, because the Fool and the Queen of Wands, those are both Aries energy. Different embodiments of Aries energy. And I think you're kind of needing to like remove yourself from the routine that you've gotten used to. Not that it's not working for you in many ways, because I think that it is. I think that it has brought you a lot of abundance, and I think that you should be proud of what you've accomplished, and I definitely don't think you should down on yourself for not getting the formula right off the bat. But I think you're kind of needing to get a little bit of a beginner's mindset about, like, is this wholly working for my health too? You know, like for my my mental health. Am I giving myself the proper, do I have the balance right in my life? Am I giving myself the proper input and output of energy? Because all of that energy that you're putting out, if you're not unwinding and filling your cup back up at the end of the day, then eventually you're going to burn out. And I think that you have come to the realization that it's not, the formula is not quite balanced. It's not quite even. I think that there's more being put out than is coming back in to yourself. And I think that once you fight for this, once you put the effort into this, underneath the Fool card is the Emperor. Yet another embodiment of Aries energy. Aries and Scorpio energy, so that's interesting. But we're talking about you here, right? And I think that once you acknowledge it and kind of set the time aside to not reevaluate, I think you're doing that already, but to replenish your energy, like on a larger scale, like a vacation, you'll come back refreshed. And I think that moving forward, that's going to be incorporated into the routine more. I don't think you'll let quite as much time go by moving forward from here without that. And I think that is going to have such positive, it's just going to have a really positive effect. I think that this Nine of Pentacles and this Nine of Cups will switch to the 10 moving forward, if you're able to, once you see like how refreshing and rejuvenating it is to incorporate that into your yearly schedule. And with the Soul cards here, I'm kind of seeing this as like an inner child energy. It's like this figure's head, the figure in this card is kind of snuggled up to almost like a, what's the word? Man, I can't think of the word right now. Like an imagining. I'm just seeing it as like an imagining of the inner self, the inner child. And this figure looks tired. This figure looks the little inner child figure looks not excited, but like it just has like an anticipatory energy to me, like an energy of anticipation. Eyes open, alert, ready for something, and that really speaks to kind of what we've been talking about here. And then with the cards that came out, looking back, like this figure is looking back on all of this and kind of evaluating. And this is once you're kind of already in the process of trying to balance things back out and fighting for that replenishment within the self and in your relationships too, you know, kind of standing on the land, grounded, but behind it is this imagery of like being afloat, being adrift on the water, which always makes me think of emotionality, and having I don't know if you can see this figure in the water kind of reaching up and dumping into this figure's boat. And I'm really getting, I mean, when you think of water, you think of cups energy. So, you know, I see your cup being replenished here. And I also think of the Six of Swords when I see the boat imagery. So I think moving forward out of a more difficult, not that I don't think you've been handling it impressively up until this point, but I think moving forward, it's not going to be as difficult to, like, I think it's going to ease the amount of output that you're having. I don't think you're going to be as drained moving forward, even if you're having to put out the same amount of output, because you're going to be more emotionally fulfilled at the end of the day in your personal life outside of whatever work situation this is. I think it's really doing a lot to your mentality, for your mentality too, as far as, like, we talked about moving forward and kind of like incorporating that into your norm. I think it's going to be kind of inspiring. For you. Of like, okay, well, what can I do with all of this abundance? Like, I didn't even realize the amount of possibility that was out there for this amount of abundance I was pulling in. Like, I have all of this. I can definitely afford to pour a little of it back into myself at the end of the day, outside of, like, my obligations and responsibilities. And I think that's going to be really exciting for you too, like planning ahead. And it's definitely like a motivator too, because it's like, well, if I can make this quota, let's just say, or get this work to this bonus or whatever, then I can go here, here, and here. Or, you know, you always have something to look forward to in the future. I can buy this house. I can, you know, I can go on this type of road trip. I can go on this type of, like, trip abroad. I can go on this type of cruise. Treat yourself kind of energy. I'm trying to think which card I would like, or which cards I would like to clarify in this spread. I'm debating on whether or not to do the Tower for Inner Journey, just to kind of see, like, what you're working on, or what's going to be illuminated for you, or reconfigured within. Yeah, let's do the Tower. Let's see what that's about. What is this inner journey with the Tower for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius? What is this inner journey with the Tower for Aries for the full moon in Aquarius, please? So bottom of the deck we have the Four of Cups. We have the Eight of Cups, so like walking away from disappointment. Knight of Cups, confidently towards the Ace of Cups. Eight of Cups, Knight of Wands, Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is a really nice internal shift. I think you've been disappointed in your personal life, and I think that it's a direct reflection of the amount of energy, like the way that you've been able to show up, because you've been depleted up until this point. And I think you're moving passionately out and away from that dynamic within your relationships. And I think it's going to be a direct reflection of the amount of love you're giving back to yourself. Underneath self-love is sexual energy, and underneath that is divine timing. You definitely have something to look forward to here, Aries. So I'm beyond happy for you. I look forward to seeing in future spreads the evolution of this energy being incorporated into your life, and I really hope to see you there. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and if you'd like to share in the comments what's going on for you or how this energy is showing up in your life, how it connects with you and your story, I'd love to hear it, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, Aries. Hey, Cancer. Welcome to your Aquarius full moon reading for the end of August 2021. Excited to get into the energy with you. Real quick before we start, I'm doing the reading a little bit differently. I'm going to lay out the spread and then read the cards instead of reading throughout, shuffling. It'll just save you a little bit more time along with me. And with that, we'll get started. What guidance, clarity, and messages for Cancer for the full moon in Aquarius? What guidance, clarity, and messages for Cancer for the full moon in Aquarius? Okay, let's see what came out for you here. So bottom of the deck, we have Cardinal energy. And we have the sign of Scorpio, the sign of Libra, and the 6th house. Interesting, because the 6th house is, the 6th house is Virgo. So Scorpio, Libra, Virgo. It's backwards. You may be dealing with any of those signs. Or you may have those in your chart. Might be beneficial to look and see where in your chart those signs lie, to kind of get a better idea of what areas of your life that this full moon will be affecting. What guidance, clarity, and messages for Cancer for the full moon in Aquarius, please? Bottom of the deck, we have number 24, Ascension. These are kind of dark, so hopefully you'll be able to see that all right. And we have number 22, Transformation, going along with the Scorpio theme here, and number 36, Grounding. Guidance, clarity, and truth for Cancers for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Guidance, clarity, and truth for Cancers for the full moon in Aquarius, please. Okay. So with the soul cards, I'll kind of just let you sit with the imagery. I wonder if it's getting a little bit darker. So it was raining earlier, but oh yeah, you can see that all right. This card at the bottom of the deck always reminds me of Capricorn for some reason. guidance, clarity, and truth for Cancer with a full moon in Aquarius. What guidance, clarity can you bring through for Cancer? Bottom of the deck on the tarot is the Eight of Wands. And we have, let's see, the Two of Swords, the Three of Swords, the King of Swords, a lot of sword energy. We have the Six of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Knight of Cups. So let me sit with this just for a minute, kind of get a feel for the energy coming through. So it looks like the energy is going to be moving forward for you with this full moon, which I know probably sounds so silly because isn't energy always moving forward? But I think there's going to be an increase. Things may have been a little bit stagnant for you recently, or at least more stagnant than they're about to be. I'm kind of getting the feeling that some healing has been going on or has been needed from some disappointment, lack of reciprocity and connections in your life. And with Cardinal energy coming up on the bottom, I think you'll be comfortable because that is your energy naturally. But it's an energy of initiation, and with the Eight of Wands coming through with it, along with Ascension, I get the feeling that whatever you've been working through, you're now at a place where you're ready to move forward from it. Yeah, I think you've been coming to a decision about exactly how you want to move forward up until this point. And with the King of Swords underneath the 6th house, I'm getting the feeling that you feel a little more assured in your mindset about how you want to show up in your connections or in the world outside of yourself. A little more so maybe than you have in the recent past, or up until this point. With transformation in the 6 of Pentacles, I think not only the way that you are showing up for others is positively changed, but I think also in light of that, how others will be showing up for you is also going to be positively shifted. I think maybe you've reevaluated some feelings of disappointment that you were having about past situations or situations with your connections, if they're still in your life, kind of rethinking the way that you are showing up in them and how that may have been reflected in the way that they were showing up with you. So the Lovers and grounding, I think once you've acted on this choice, and acted on this change of mindset and perspective, you're going to have a more solid foundation come about because of the way that you're showing up. Like, it's going to be more, your connections are going to be more grounded in authenticity. Like a more whole authenticity. Not that you were showing up in the past in an inauthentic way. I think maybe you just have evolved a little bit. And I think that evolvement resonates more with your truth than perhaps it did before. Like your full truth. With the Knight of Cups underneath this card, I get the feeling that this Knight of Cups is you. And I don't know if you can see, attention is drawn in this imagery to this figure's stomach. And the head is on the figure is kind of like a bird. And there's a bird coming up out of the stomach. So I just get the feeling that a new creative way of being, of communicating, and creating a more inspired way, like something that's been cooking. I get the feeling of like pregnancy, like fertility, and pregnancy doesn't necessarily mean, giving birth to a baby, but fertility in the way of like creation, that's what pregnancy is. It's creation of a human. But I mean, there are other ways, like you can be pregnant with an idea, and it's been kind of incubating, right? And I think it's coming to a point where it's now ready to come, with this bird coming up through the throat chakra area and the heart chakra area. And it seems as though this figure is kind of projecting it out. So like verbalizing it, communicating it out into the world around them. I think that some of you may be having a baby. Very well could. But I think for the majority, just with the direction that this imagery is taking, that it's more so like communication of ideas. Either on like how connections can go. I really get the feeling that this is like about connections in your life in whatever way. And communicating in a healthier way about how you need those connections to show up for you, and how you plan to show up in those connections in the future, like from here on in. And I think you're showing up in a really unique and beautiful way. And I think it's a subtle shift. But a shift nonetheless. A really positive shift. A lot of rainbow energy here. Like with this Libra card and this card here. And even in the 6th house card. So with kind of where the energy is spotlighted in your life here with this 6th house and this King of Swords energy, I think you're more self-assured in this area than perhaps you are in your more emotionally driven connections. So like your personal life versus all other areas. Let me just read about the 6th house here for you, because they'll word it probably a little more smartly, a little better than I will. It says, corresponds to Virgo and the planet Mercury. This is the house of self-improvement and service in day-to-day work. The subject of health is found in this house. Skills, duties, and responsibilities are crafted with earnest in this area of life. So confidence, skill, vibrant health, valuable work, a positive daily routine, life improvement, responsibility, and dedication. So I think you may feel a little more confident in those areas, like a little more established in your thinking and in how you show up in those areas versus, because I mean that's a king energy, versus like in your personal life I kind of get the feeling that the knight versus the king, it's not quite as evolved, but nonetheless it's more of an energy of movement, whereas this is more stabilized, like set. This is kind of like a movement forward, going after. So I think that might be where you're communicating. Very interesting. Especially with Ascension here. And slow but steady is underneath that. So I think that may be important to like take your time getting used to that energy. Capricorn is underneath this Cardinal energy. So you may see the effort you're putting in now come to full fruition during Capricorn season, coming up in the winter. So that could be how far out we're looking for this full moon energy for you. I'm trying to think what needs clarity here. Let's see. I'm nosy, so I personally would love to look into what it was that disappointed you to kind of get a better idea on where you're moving forward to, but I really don't want to focus too much on the negative, so I think I'm going to see what this Knight of Cups is moving towards, what you're moving towards, what you're looking to just see like a little bit more about what that's about. Wheel of Fortune, by the way, was behind the Eight of Wands, so any action or movement you're taking forward with this Knight, I think is really going to bring a lot of positivity. What is the Knight of Cups showing up for Cancer for the Aquarius full moon? What is the Knight of Cups showing up for Cancer for the Aquarius full moon? I love doing full moon readings for Cancer because, you know, it rules, the moon rules your sign, or your sign more so rules the moon. We have the Ace of Swords on the bottom. So clear communication, information, insight, illumination of some sort. And we have the Chariot, the Hierophant, and the Page of Pentacles, or the Princess of Pentacles. So moving forward to some sort of commitment or contract, joining a dedicating yourself to something here, moving forward to dedicating yourself, but starting small with the Page of Pentacles. I think that it's something that will bring you showing up in this way, I think is going to open the doors to, and showing like your willingness to cooperate and collaborate in the way that you're showing up is going to open the doors and bring in a new opportunity for something tangible, something not big right off the bat with the Page energy. I mean, it's something small and new, but it's a learning opportunity. It's a like for material gain, or possibly it's not really telling me exactly what direction it'll take you in. Let me see. Let's look underneath. Oh, Six of Cups. So maybe it could be like establishing a home, you know, like a small step towards maybe establishing a family security. the Ace of Swords and the Six of Cups. But it's going to take some time and effort for it to fully come to fruition, like we talked about with that Capricorn season. Because after it, so it's the Ace of Swords, the Six of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. So fighting for what you want, having the patience to see it to fruition, and underneath that is the Star. So that's wish fulfillment. Could be Aquarius season. So Capricorn season could be where you're kind of seeing it, whatever this effort is, like seeing the fruits of it start to come into view. And Aquarius season could be where like they fully take root. This may be a connection that you're establishing, and you're like starting a family, especially with that pregnancy card. You could be telling somebody that you're pregnant. Somebody could be telling you. And you could be trying to show up, if that's the case, just like as an example too for any other situation, because like apply it to your life as it fits. But like you could be establishing, if that is the case with your partner, this is how, you know, I think a family situation, a healthy family situation should look. And this is what I'm going to do to contribute to that. And this is what I need of you, you know? Or even not only necessarily telling them what I need of you, just by telling them how you're going to show up, it could spark off the train of thought for them to be like, well, how do I want to show up in this, in my role within the family, and what example do I want to set? Overall, really positive. I think you've embraced whatever learning happened here for you. Through disappointment in a really positive way. I think you took the lesson from it in a really positive way. Another a message is coming through just real quick before we wrap up. You could be communicating to someone as well, kind of a small step in a tangible direction you would like to move with them. Like if you're not in an established connection, you could be letting someone know, like, I would like to start discussing moving towards maybe buying a home, maybe moving in together and needing to find a home. Just with this Page of Pentacles, it could be so many different things. If it's not a love connection, say it's like a family member or a friend, and you know that they would like to start some sort of business, but they don't have the, they don't fully have like a financial down payment, or they don't fully have, they wouldn't be able to take on the workload in order to be able to make it work all on their own, and it's somebody you're wanting to get close to and or closer with, or spend more time with, or you want to show your support. And so you say, well, hey, how about I go in as an investor? Or hey, I would love to, I'm also interested in this, I would love to work on this with you, this is what I can do, something like that, you know? Something that brings stability and security, something small, but it's being offered with love, from a loving place. Some sort of commitment. So I hope that helps you, gives you a little bit of a heads up to whatever this is, or maybe justifies that you're heading in the right direction. If you already kind of have an idea about this coming up for you, or you already having some thoughts or feelings about moving in this direction. And I hope you enjoy the reading. I would love to know how you relate or how this applies in your life if you want to share in the comments. And I hope to see you back for our next reading, and I really appreciate you showing up today. Bye, Cancer.